Hi friends, today we are going to be drawing and painting our winter cardinals. So in the video that you watched, you learned about cardinals and how male cardinals are bright red and female cardinals or girl cardinals are browns, so they're not as bright. And the reason for that is so that they can camouflage better because they usually are the ones that are laying on their eggs or protecting their young. But today we're going to be making those bright red cardinals. I love in the wintertime when I can see those bright red cardinals against the snow and they come out looking for seeds and food. So we are going to be drawing our cardinal first and then drawing the tree behind it, and then we're going to be painting the sky with some purples and blues. So today what you need for your supplies is a white piece of paper, some crayons to draw with and color with, and some paints. Your watercolor set and a cup of water and your paintbrush. If you don't have these supplies, you can always just color your cardinal in. You can use markers, crayons, color pencils. If you are using your paints, markers usually, the marker kind of bleeds, so you don't want to use those two together, but you can always use other supplies. And also, if you want to add some different details or make your picture a little bit different than mine, that's okay too. I love seeing your creativity. You don't have to do it exactly how I do it step by step. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our cardinal with our black crayon. We're going to have our cardinal kind of peeking in from the side here. And so I'm going to start on the left-hand side of my paper, and I'm going to start close to the top, leaving a little bit of space. I'm going to make a curved line up, okay? Almost looks like a J, curved line up. Then I'm going to make that line come down, around for the belly, and back into the other side of the paper. This little point up here is going to be that cardinal's mohawk. So I'm going to take my crayon, I'm going to bring it back down, around for his round belly, and back into the side of my paper. So it kind of looks like a teardrop. Just going to go over that one more time so you can see that better. Okay, this is going to be our cardinal's mohawk and his round belly here. I'm going to make another curved line right here. That's going to be his wing. There's his wing. And right near the top here, I'm going to draw a beak. So I'm going to draw a triangle that goes out, a line in between it, and a little dot for his nostril. Okay? So his mohawk, his beak, his round belly, and his wing. If you want to add little feet to him too, you can. Now I'm going to draw my cardinal's eyes. So right where my little beak is, I'm going to draw a little circle and a dot inside of it for his eye. So a circle, and then a dot inside of it. Again, if you want to draw your eye a little bit differently, that's totally fine. And then around it, cardinals have, I call it their little black mask. I'm going to draw their little mask that goes around in kind of like a sideways U shape. So from that beak, I'm going to go around my eye, and then I'm going to stop at the bottom of the beak. And then I'm going to color this in. That's going to be his little black mask. You'll notice that in pictures of cardinals. Okay, and I'm coloring that in. Okay. So now that I have my cardinal, I'm going to draw the branch that he's sitting on. So underneath my cardinal, and remember branches are kind of wavy lines, they're not always perfectly straight. So I'm going to draw a line underneath my cardinal. Okay, and then another line that goes down the bottom of the branch. Maybe I'm going to make this branch split into two here. Okay, if you want to, again, if you want to draw little feet on your cardinal, you can. Now I'm going to draw some branches that are kind of zigzagging. This is kind of a zoomed in picture that we're looking at the cardinal and the branch. So the branches are going to just be peeking from behind our cardinal. So I might make a branch that goes from the top of my paper and then angles down. Now whenever I get to my cardinal, I don't want to draw on top of my cardinal. So I'm kind of going around it. When I get to the cardinal, I stop and I start again on the other side. And same with my branches. My branches are going to be overlapping, so some might be behind each other. This branch is in front, so I'm making this branch behind the other one. I'm going to make the other side of my branch. Okay. And I'm going to make another branch kind of going from right to left, kind of crisscrossing like the letter X. So I'm going to make one line, goes down. This branch is going to go behind the other one. Okay. And over here. Now you can add more branches. I want you to try to have at least 3 branches in your picture, but you can decide where those branches go. Okay? And maybe I'll do one more branch kind of behind here. Maybe a thinner branch. Maybe it's farther away. Okay? Awesome. So now that I have my branches, I'm going to take my brown and I'm going to color those branches in. I'm doing this with my crayon. Now, if you would rather paint them, you can. I like coloring some things with my crayon and painting other things because they look different, but also, just in case while I'm painting, if I color it nice and dark with my crayon, the paint will not stick to your crayon. So that's what I kind of like about doing it for some of my details that maybe will be hard to paint around. Okay, there's one of my branches. Here's another one. You can even color in your cardinal with your red if you're worried about getting paint on your cardinal. I'm going to paint my cardinal, but that's up to you. And again, remember, you don't have to use paint. So maybe if you're not allowed to use paints right now, or you don't have your paints, you can always just color it all in with crayon too. Okay. So I'm going to color this little one. And again, like I said, you don't have to follow this step by step. If you want to add more details, maybe you want to add more cardinals to your picture or more animals, or make your background a little bit different, that is totally fine with me. I want you to be creative and have fun with it. Something underneath my paper. After I'm done coloring in my branches, I'm going to color in my beak with my crayon too, because my beak is a small spot and it's going to be yellow and I don't want to get any of the background color on it. So I'm going to go ahead and press nice and hard and color in my beak with the yellow. Okay. Now before I start painting, I am going to do one more thing with my crayons, and I'm going to draw some snow in my background. I know it's winter time and I absolutely love the snow, and we just did snowflakes for our last lesson, so I thought it would be fun to add some little snowflakes in the background. Now you can do little dots in the background if you want. You can make your snowflakes like this, where you do the X and then the T, or like this. Whatever kind of design you want to do for your snowflakes. So I'm going to take my white, and just in the spaces around my branches, I'm going to draw some snowflakes. Now press nice and hard, because when we paint over top of it, we want to still be able to see them. So I'm going to draw some snowflakes here and there. Pressing nice and hard. Again, you don't have to add snow to your background if you don't want to. Nice and hard with my white crayon. Again, you can do just dots too, pressing nice and hard. Okay, I think I have enough snowflakes. I know it's hard to see because I'm doing white on white paper, but if I turn my paper you can see, but my snowflakes do look like that. They will appear once I paint them too. So I think the first thing I'm going to paint is the red cardinal, because once I do the background with the purples and the blues, I don't want that to get on my cardinal, and I don't want those colors to mix. So I'm going to start with the red for my cardinal. So I'm going to get a little bit of water on my paintbrush. I'm going to take that red, and the more you dab it in your paint, the darker your color will be. I think I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And I'm just going to carefully color or paint in my cardinal's belly. And what's great is my paint will not stick to the crayon. So I can go right on top of that crayon and it won't stick, which is great. Now again, if you feel more comfortable coloring this in with your crayon, I know some of these spots are a little small, you definitely can. Okay, right over top of that line for the wing. There is my beautiful bright red cardinal. Alright, once I am done with that red, I'm going to really clean my paintbrush out nice and good. Really well, getting that red out of there. And now I'm going to use my blues and my purples for the background. Now remember, my paint won't stick to the crayon, so hopefully my snowflakes show up, and if I accidentally get some paint on the trees, they should still show up too. So I'm going to take some blue first from my sky behind here. And I'm going to make sure I get a lot of paint on that paintbrush. And ooh, I found a snowflake right away. So I'm going to take that blue. I'm going to paint some blue. And again, I'm not going over top of my branches, but if I do accidentally, that's okay. You'll still be able to see them. Maybe I'll add a little bit of purple on top of that. So we're going to be mixing some of those colors too. Now remember, we want to mix those colors on your paper, but not in your paint palette. Okay, so I do clean out my paintbrush in between colors, even when I mix them on my paper. Okay. And again, I'm getting all these white spaces around my branches and around my cardinal. Now when I go to my cardinal, I want to carefully paint around my cardinal because I don't want to get that on him. Maybe I'm going to start with purple this time. Ooh, look at that. Blues. You can keep switching between your blues and purples. Maybe you want to make your background a different color. And that's okay too. I just want to do the red of your cardinal just so that cardinal really stands out. And you can see as I mix the blue and the purple together, it kind of makes a new color. Should we get these little spaces in here too? We want to hide all the white space. The only white space that should be showing are our snowflakes and inside of our cardinal's eye. I think the reason why I notice cardinals so much in the wintertime is because we can really see them, especially when there's no leaves in the branches, but also when there's snow on the ground, their feathers, the red feathers look so vibrant. So bright. down, just switching between those two colors, making sure that I clean out my paintbrush in between both. I don't want to mix them in my paint palette, but I can mix them on my paper. Practice painting nice and carefully and taking your time. Don't rush. But guess what? It's okay if you get paint on your trees. You'll still be able to see that brown crayon. Alright. Almost done. Blue and purple are those cool colors that we talked about. Do you remember what that third cool color was? If you said green, you're correct. Good job. All right, now I am done painting my wintry background. You can see my snowflakes and the tree branches and my cardinal sitting on that tree branch. Friends, you did a wonderful job today. Great job. Please make sure that you put your artwork in a safe spot to dry before you move it, and make sure that you clean up your art supplies. Have an awesome day and great job. Hope you had fun.